Muscle cars that disappeared. After 1 year, what happened? 1. 1970 Buick GSX. The 1970 Buick GSX was Buick's boldest attempt at entering the muscle car game. It wasn't just a grand sport with stripes, it was a full-blown performance machine. Powered by the monstrous 455 cubic inch Stage 1 V8, it made a factory-rated 360 horsepower and a mind-bending 510 pound-feet of torque. That torque number made it one of the most powerful engines in any muscle car of its time. In fact, Motor Trend called the GSX the quickest American production car in 1970. Its quarter-mile times were around 13.38 seconds at 105 miles per hour, which was blazing fast back then. But what really set the GSX apart was its aggressive styling. It came with bold yellow or white paint, hood-mounted tack, racing stripes, and a rear spoiler. Only about 678 were ever made, making it incredibly rare. Despite its performance, the GSX didn't find a large audience. The market was already saturated with muscle cars from Chevrolet, Dodge, and Ford. Buick's image was more associated with luxury than raw power. Many younger buyers didn't see Buick as a cool muscle car brand. Additionally, the GSX's price was higher than rivals like the Chevelle SS or the GTO. Even though it had the performance to back it up, it was overlooked. By 1971, tightening emissions regulations and rising insurance premiums started choking the muscle car market. Buick decided to discontinue the GSX after just 1 year. It returned in name only later, but never again with the same power or attitude. Today, the 1970 GSX is a true collector's gem. Survivors are highly sought after, especially with the Stage 1 option. Many enthusiasts consider it one of the best one-year wonders in muscle car history. Its disappearance remains a mystery to casual fans, but insiders know it was a victim of timing and branding. Had Buick launched it earlier, it might have changed the muscle car landscape. Now, it stands as a symbol of what Buick could have been. Its performance numbers still impress to this day. With such limited production, values for original GSXs have skyrocketed. Many were destroyed or raced to death, making clean examples ultra-rare. It was powerful, fast, luxurious, and visually stunning. It just didn't get the recognition it deserved, until now. If you see one in the wild, consider yourself lucky. The GSX showed that Buick could go toe-to-toe with the best. But it was too little, too late. Today, it's a legend among muscle car fanatics. Its short production run only adds to the mystique. 1 year was all it needed to make a lasting impact. The GSX was a masterpiece that arrived in the twilight of the muscle car era. And just like that, it was gone. 2. 1969 Dodge Charger 500. Before the legendary Charger Daytona came the little-known 1969 Dodge Charger 500. It was Dodge's first attempt to make the Charger competitive on NASCAR ovals. The regular Charger had aerodynamic issues that made it unstable at high speeds. To fix that, Dodge created the Charger 500 with a flush-mounted grille and a fastback rear window. These changes helped reduce drag and improve high-speed performance. Only 500 units were required for NASCAR homologation. And Dodge built exactly that, 500 cars. The Charger 500 came with either a 426 HEMI or a 440 Magnum engine. These were serious power plants designed for competition. But even with the aerodynamic tweaks, the 500 still wasn't enough to dominate NASCAR. It was better than the regular Charger, but still trailed behind Ford's Torino Talladega. So Dodge immediately went back to the drawing board. The result? The over-the-top, winged Charger Daytona. Because the Daytona was so radical, the Charger 500 was quickly overshadowed. It became a forgotten footnote in the history of NASCAR-era wars. Still, on the street, it was a legitimate muscle car with track-bred DNA. The flush grille and back window made it look cleaner and sleeker, and with the Hemi under the hood, it was brutally fast. Despite its potential, it was only available for 1 year, 1969. Dodge didn't see the need to continue it once the Daytona came out. Collectors often overlooked the Charger 500 in favor of the more famous Daytona. But some argue it's actually a better driving car, with more subtle design. It's also much rarer than your typical Charger RT. The Charger 500 sits in a unique spot, part muscle car, part race car experiment. It helped push Dodge further into high-speed performance. Today, it's one of the rarest Mopars ever made. Finding one in original condition is nearly impossible. Most were modified or wrecked over the years. But for true muscle car historians, the 500 is a hidden gem. It's a reminder of how quickly innovation was moving in the late 60s. Dodge didn't waste time. They built it, tested it, and moved on. That short window makes the Charger 500 incredibly special. It's an example of function-first design, born out of necessity. And even though it only lasted 1 year, its influence was huge. Without the 500, there would be no Daytona. It was the missing link between street muscle and full-on aero cars, and that makes it unforgettable to those who know its story. 3. 1971. Plymouth GTX 446 barrel. The 1971 Plymouth GTX marked the final year for this high-performance model as a standalone muscle car. It was based on the redesigned B-body platform with swoopier lines and aggressive curves. But by 1971, the muscle car era was rapidly declining. Still, the GTX went out with a bang. One of the rarest and most powerful versions came with the 446-barrel engine. This setup featured 3 two-barrel carburetors, feeding a massive 440 cubic inch V8. It produced a conservatively rated 385 horsepower and brutal low-end torque. It was built for speed, and it delivered. The 446-barrel GTX could hit 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. It came standard with performance suspension, dual exhaust, and a beefy rear axle. Stylistically, it featured unique striping, badging, and optional hood scoops. It was a true street bruiser with a refined twist. Unfortunately, 1971 also brought stricter emission regulations. That meant lower compression ratios and reduced engine outputs across the board. Insurance rates for muscle cars also skyrocketed that year. Sales of high-powered cars plummeted. As a result, only a small number of GTX were produced with the 446 barrel. And 1971 would be the last year the GTX stood alone. After that, it became just an option package on the Roadrunner. The end came quietly for what had once been a flagship performance car, but the 1971 GTX 446 barrel left a serious impression. It was the last of its breed, a true muscle car before the era ended. Collectors today treasure it for its rarity and power. It combined brute strength with Mopar flair. The triple-carb setup gave it a ferocious intake sound, and its bold design made it instantly recognizable. This was no ordinary Plymouth. It was a legend. Many consider it one of the most underrated muscle cars ever. It wasn't around long, but its reputation has grown with time. The GTX name may have faded, but its legacy is alive in every tire mark. As far as one-year wonders go, few were as explosive as the 1971 GTX 446 barrel. If you find one, cherish it. It's a muscle car from the edge of extinction.